an incarcerated individual at the California Men's Colony, San Luis Obispo, California. This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now.
Well, I'm Slick Beat. I'm from Elm Street. I wanted to first tell you about my boy C-Man referred me to you. I'm from Compton too. My hood was one of the ones that was bodyguarding for Suge Knight, the rival record label of Bad Boys, which was at the time Death Row Records. At the time was owned by Suge. Now it's owned by Snoop Dogg.
Right, which is crazy. So you're Donald Brown, and your street name was Slick, and you're in Elm Street Piru.
Yes.
Got it. I guess how old are you? What were you doing in the '90s?
And in the 90s, I was out and about. I was running the streets. My older homie, which is Chism, which he was a part of the Death Row. I used to be with him a lot. I used to drive around with him in the lowrider, and every week he would go, and I would go with him and go collect his paycheck from Suge. He used to get allowance $2,000 a week, and he would get out and go collect his money, come back. He would give me like 50 some bucks, whatever. And we would drive around and just, in the lowrider. And when it break down, we would go back to Suge and get more money to get it fixed. That was my fondest memories of him.
How did you get to know him?
When I got put on my neighborhood, that was one of the older homies that accepted me. Like yeah, this the little homie right here, y'all put him on, And still to this day, I'm in contact with his older brother, Dabo. One in the wheelchair, Dabo Chism. He got the shop back on Long Beach Boulevard. The barber shop is on Long Beach Boulevard in Am. I used to go to the studios, talk with Snoop Dogg, DJ Quick, Second and None sometimes, Dr. J before he departed from Death Row. I've been quite around Death Row era. I got a lot of older homies that was into that neck bone. Heron, Bunch Real, all those my older homies. My most tender memory was Snoop Dogg. When I first met him, he had them all red, and he walked up to me and he was just like, and he greeted me. I knew who he was, and I was just confused that he had them all red, and it was just something that Suge was making him do. He didn't. I guess that was something that he didn't want to do, but Suge was kind of making him do that, and he was just doing it because. And it's crazy, ironic. Now the Crips in Long Beach, they wear red now, So it was kind of like almost like a 4-7 sign, But my memories of going to Death Row Studios with my older homie Rock Chism, which is rest in peace right now. He died of stage 4 cancer pneumonia. He got life for he got pulled over. He showed him his car to carry guns, and the arrested took his guns. And he got life, 3 strikes. He wasn't supposed to have guns. He's on parole. He used to always take me up there, and that's all. I remember talking to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, and I was trying to get him I was trying to get on the track with Snoop Dogg, and I was trying to get a beat from Dr. Dre. I thought I was going to be a rapper back in the day. That's why I thought I was going with my homie up there.
Yeah, it's crazy, when the gangster rap thing, took off in the '80s and '90s. That obviously then lots of people in Compton, Compton became the epicenter of that, and a lot of people wanted to become artists.
That's where gangster rap started at. If it weren't for NWA, it wouldn't be no Tupac, Biggie Smalls beef. It wasn't for NWA.
So Rock brought you into Death Row. That's interesting. And did you ever were you kind of one of the bodyguards at times?
No, I never bodyguard
Right.
for Suge Knight. If I had it my way, I would have bodyguarded for Biggie Smalls, because I was a Biggie Smalls fan growing up, and it was conflicting because they're like, how are you a Biggie Smalls fan with the Death Row era? I just grew up. I just liked the Biggie. I liked the Biggie more. I don't judge people for their background, but I like the Biggie because he came from where he came from. He didn't come. He was from New York. He came from New York. He didn't go to New Jersey and then went to Compton and then went to here and here. He didn't do that. He came from the Bronx, and that's where he was. That's where he came from. That's where he stuck with. He came from nowhere else. That's why we stuck with Biggie. He talks all over the place.
If you don't mind me asking, what are you in prison for?
I'm in prison for a gang-related shooting that I didn't do.
Got it. And that was like back in Compton area, or?
It was in Compton.
Yeah,
On Van Ness and Rosecrans in my neighborhood, right there on Van Ness and Rosecrans.
got it. So let's go back. First of all, how did you get involved with Elm Street?
How did I get involved in Elm Street? I got
Yeah.
involved in Elm Street through my older homies, Rock Chism, Jeffrey Chism, Charlie P, China Dog, all those other guys. They pulled me in.
There's a story about Rock Chisholm where Heron stabbed him. Do you remember that?
It was an incident on the streets where Suge had paid him to leave that alone, to squash that.
What happened was, Rock Chism ain't to be fucked with, first of all. We call him, where you at? I'm in the hood. Talking to Heron. All right, we on our way over there. Stay put. You know what I'm saying? We finna handle this shit, nigga. This Rock, it's the homie, nigga. Y'all fucking with the homie? Oh, it's finna go down. We Rock ready to go. So it's finna be fun, because I love Rock. Rock ain't no man. Rock, boy, look here. So anyway, bam. They over there arguing, because he tried to get, you know what I'm saying, from Heron, you know what I'm saying, the disagreement happened right there. And he fired on Heron. He damn near knocked Heron out. You know what I'm saying? He just was looking for a fade. But Heron went and got his little knife. We had just, we was at the Beverly Center. Heron had that motherfucker 24 hours, man. He, you know, from Rock tried to knock him out. And Heron went to the truck, you know what I'm saying? And they was getting down, and he got one in, you know? Which I felt you should have took your fade, homie.
Yeah.
So it was some shit, you know, it was some shit. Because we had to calm Rock down.
Right.
And it took a lot, and I mean a lot.
Because he got stabbed.
Yeah.
So you like, Heron basically escalated.
Mama Chism worried, Day-Boy and all them, you know what I'm saying? Shit. Motherfuckers pissed off at Heron. That's what happened. And Rock made it through, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, Rock, you know what I'm saying? Rock got taken care of.
That's why it was never an issue on the streets when they were together, because Suge was paying him extra not to leave that alone.
To keep
Right.
the peace.
And that was no way tied to the shooting death of Heron either.
Right, that was a separate
No way
incident,
tied
right?
with that. That's totally separate incident.
Do you know anything about the murder of Heron? Like, what was going on with that?
I don't. I was arrested when that happened. And further into the record and everything, other rival gangs was trying to get involved into it, and that's when it became a big old mess. You know,
Right.
first it was just Elm Street and South Side, then other hoods tried to like put their bid in, try to get in, and that's when it became chaotic.